F/XX and Tempest, the race to build the world's first 6th-gen fighter jet. With technology constantly evolving, aerial warfare, 6th-generation fighter jets are on the horizon. There is a race between many programs to develop these aircraft. One of these is the Next Generation of Air Dominance (NG) program. Despite encompassing all aspects of future aerial combat, NGD is often used to refer to the 6th-generation manned jet at the center of the program, a replacement for the F-22 Raptor, entering service in the 2030s. At least one prototype out of no less than 3 flew in 2020, and the program is now reaching the engineering, manufacturing, and development phase. The contract for NGD is planned to be awarded by the United States Air Force, USAF, in 2024, now with 2 main competitors of Lockheed Martin and Boeing, after Northrop Grumman announced that it would not be bidding. However, it remains open to bidding on the Navy's 6th-generation FAXX program. The USAF will only commit to one NGAD design, and with $16 billion expected to be spent on research, development, testing, and evaluation over the next 5 years, it promises to be lucrative. The winner-takes-all approach is being used as the Pentagon is seeking to retain intellectual property for the aircraft system from the start, to prevent disputes already caused by the F-35, and easily integrate new technologies from other companies or come up with quick fixes themselves. The NGAD jet will be paired with Collaborative Combat Aircraft, CCA, drones, which will have a separate contract awarded. Manned-unmanned teaming, MUMT, integration will be an important part of the winning NGAD design. The USAF is planning to procure at least 200 NGAD jets, possibly 250, and 1,000 CCAs, and although the price tag per jet is unknown, it is likely to be in the range of hundreds of millions of dollars, but with a much lower operational cost than the F-22. The U.S. Navy is planning to request more than $9 billion for its F/AXX project over the next 5 years, to replace the F divided by a -18 E divided by F Super Hornets under its own program, but will have some similarities to the USAF's. One difference between the two programs will be carrier-enabled takeoffs and landings, and the Navy could also want a 2-seater. China is also racing to develop its own 6th-generation fighter jet, but little is known about the Aviation Industry Corporation of China's program. A design was published in the Chinese state-backed publication Global Times, which is very similar to US designs, perhaps copying it. However, some sources say that China may have its 6th-generation jet just a month behind NGD. Global Data Strategic Intelligence. US tariffs are shifting. Will you react or anticipate? Don't let policy changes catch you off guard. Stay proactive with real-time data and expert analysis. By Global Data. Learn more about strategic intelligence. Reports. Military fixed-wing aircraft market size and trend analysis by segment, combat aircraft, transport aircraft, ISR aircraft, and others. Key programs, competitive landscape and forecast, 2023 to 2033. Get the report. By Global Data. China also looks to be updating its J-20 to 6th-generation specifications and could be the platform its 6th-generation programs build on, with known designs also appearing like a less appealing version of the J-20. Since China is also replacing Russian-made AL-31F engines in its J-20s with Chinese-made WS-15 engines, it is also likely to produce its 6th-generation engines domestically. There is also little known about Russia's 6th-generation developments, with its Prospective Air Complex for Long-Range Interception program developing an interceptor following on from the 4th-generation MiG-31, dubbed the MiG-41, built by Mikoyan. This is an ambitious program, aiming for a first flight in 2025 and to be in service by 2028, capable of reaching Mach 4, carrying anti-satellite missiles and shooting down hypersonic missiles. However, with the war in Ukraine impacting Russia's industry, this seems unlikely, with the MiG-41 expected to enter service in 2030 to 35, a similar timescale to the rest of the world's 6th-generation fighters. The UK unveiled Tempest in 2018 as a concept aircraft being developed by Team Tempest, a collaboration between BAE Systems, Rolls-Royce, Leonardo, and MBDA, and has contracted over 580 suppliers, working alongside the Royal Air Force's Rapid Capabilities Office and the Ministry of Defense. which plan to fly a demonstrator in 2027. The Global Combat Air Program was announced in 2022. The UK joined with Italy and Japan to deliver a sixth-generation fighter jet by 2035 and replace the UK and Italy's Eurofighter Typhoons and Japan's Mitsubishi F-2s. This will get underway in 2025 when the countries will assess and share the costs. Sweden also has a deal with the UK, having signed a memorandum of understanding in 2019, but this is its only link to FCAS, with Swedish manufacturer Saab stating that it is on the margins. SCF covers next-generation weapon systems and will replace French Dassault Rafales and German and Spanish Eurofighter Typhoons. Airbus and Dassault are cooperating to develop a prototype due to fly in 2029. All these programs seem to be working on a similar timescale, aiming to have their respective aircraft developed by 2030, in operation by 2035 and completely replace their fourth and fifth generation counterparts by 2040. The US seems to be furthest ahead at this stage, but it is tricky to tell where China is at, with its program being kept much more discreet. Europe and Japan's projects seem to be just behind the US, and Russia's advancement seems reliant on its war in Ukraine. The programs also seem relatively similar, putting an emphasis on stealth technology, digital integration, and MUMT capabilities, which besides advancing missile technology and electronic warfare, will define the sixth generation of the aerial battlefield. Craig, August 19, 2025, 8:12 a.m. Have to wonder how useful this will be since future warfare is all drone-based as demonstrated in Ukraine. We are wasting our money because Congress members vote to produce these expensive things of the past in their own districts regardless of their utility. Meanwhile, we produce almost none of the world's drones. Victor, in A2 August 19, 2025, 8:51 a.m. Manned aircraft are dumb in an era where AI pilotless aircraft will rule the skies. I move my swarm from King's Knight 3 to... Oh, the old guard are still playing checkers. Lamar Havard, August 19, 2025, 7:03 p.m. Since Trump has already been briefed on at least 4 alien species working with us on the ground and in space, the Black Projects should go ahead and reveal the TR-3B, the Tic Tacs, and the other human back-engineered anti-gravity crafts that we DO have in service right now. And maybe throw in the cool little boxes that suck energy straight from the magneto/electric field to run all of our stuff? Some strange comments here, but I don't think the day of the optionally manned fighter is over for some time yet. Drones are certainly likely to take over as the weapon of choice eventually, but as things stand we are seriously struggling to even ensure we have a secure link in the control of them, which is why super lightweight cables are becoming so important in Ukraine to ensure they aren't a lost child in a maze. Far too dangerous to allow your whole strike and indeed defense force to rely upon it not being.